got thrown a bit of a curveball when Angela from Team GB reached out and said Tom Evans, who was one of the people who'd been selected for the trail team for Europeans, has rolled his ankle during the race at Transvolcania, where he took second, and he's going to have to pull out, and we'd like to offer you the spot. So
go GB!
Okay, so why haven't we heard from you since Sweden?
Yeah, so it's been a little while since the last episode. I think the last time I was on camera for a vlog, I was stumbling around the airport, flying back from Copenhagen or wherever we flew to after Kullermanen, feeling very smug and happy with myself after having a really good race. So yeah, since then, quite a lot's happened. It's been a while. It's now May 2024, so it's been a good number of months since then. So off the back of Kullermanen, had the usual kind of 10 days recovery, and then the plan was to get back into doing a lot of training over the winter, so increasing the elevation, doing some cross training with some cross country races and some different things like that, to then build into essentially OCC this summer. It was like the long term goal. Lewis had set out the whole plan. Felt quite good off Kullermanen, hadn't picked up any niggles, no injuries or anything like that. Started to do some more hill reps, did a bit of work on the treadmill, and then actually went to the Peak District over New Year's with Nick and Amelia and Gemma and Lewis, and did a long run and like a really brutal 3-minute rep hill session up this really steep hill, which at the time seemed like a really good stimulus, but actually was like quite intense. And then off the back of that, went straight into another session the following week, and then went on and did Cheshire Cross Country Champs, which was at Rees Heath in Nantwich. So like, I really wanted to race that and try and win it because it was like a hometown race, which I did, but I actually had picked up a bit of a Achilles niggle off the back of some of those runs in the Peak District, and I thought I'd run through it, and then running in spikes in like shin deep mud in Cheshire in January for the cross country champs really aggravated it. And I mean, I did take first place in that race, which is pretty cool, so now I can call myself cross country champion of Cheshire, which I'd never really done that stuff before. But yeah, I came out of it with a pretty bad Achilles niggle, which eventually got diagnosed as inflammation of the sheath of my Achilles, and took me out for a couple of months. I wasn't running, I was cross training on the bike. Yeah, it was tough actually. I wanted to do a vlog during that time talking about being injured and stuff, but it just didn't seem that interesting, and I was a bit down in general, to be honest, because I wasn't running and it was quite a hard time. Unfortunately, that meant that I couldn't train into Trans Gran Canaria, which was one of the goal races and was actually one of the trial races to make the GB team for Europeans. So I missed out on that, and obviously then wasn't selected. Luckily I got told that I was first reserve, which was cool, but it was very unlikely I was going to make the team. But then luckily, kind of by March time into early April, I was back running and training, and pretty much back into full training, ready to go and have a crack at the uphill trial in Keswick, which was like a 6 kilometre long race where you climb over 900 metres up Skiddaw. Went into it feeling quite confident, which in hindsight was ridiculous because the training wasn't there, and had a horrendous race, came like 30th, felt awful, felt really weak, felt really slow, got passed by everybody. Worst race of my life, like really knocked my confidence. Gemma was there too, she had a better run than me, but also had a hard day out, and it was just a reality check of like, I'm nowhere near where I need to be on the uphills. But then Lewis and I went away and chatted to Gemma and realised it's just a huge area for improvement, which is actually a positive. Like, a lot of low-hanging fruit and a space where we can gain a lot into like these longer trail races, because any time you can make up on the uphill is almost like magnified because the majority of your time is spent climbing. So improvements there like have a huge return. So trying to stay positive about that and just realise we've got a lot to gain. So off the back of that, we ramped up the elevation, and like no kind of niggle with my Achilles at all. That's fully healed up, and that race didn't like bring anything on off the back of that, which was really reassuring as well. So we started to smash out 4,000 to 5,000 meters a week of elevation, getting in long reps on the treadmill, hilly long runs, really focusing on volume and threshold work. And then a few weeks after Keswick, went to Ultra Trail Snowdonia, which was one of the target races. I raced the 25k there, and kind of bounced back and won it, which was awesome. It was first UTMB World Series race win, probably one of the bigger race wins of my life. Felt good, definitely didn't feel completely prepped, but it was like a big confidence booster, and obviously like winning a race is always great, so boosted my UTMB index score a little bit, got to race against some good guys, and yeah, really just was a big confidence boost. Felt decent on the climb, but really pulled away on the descent, which like I like to think of as my strength, and it's again just nice to have the opportunity to test that and make sure it is reality, and it is. So that was really cool. So I had a great time at Snowdonia with all the guys that were there. My dad was there, Kirsten and George, Gemma came out, she was doing some training runs, so yeah, that was awesome. And off the back of that, came back with the plan of racing at Mozart, which is happening on this Saturday, so 1st of June. So it's the Mozart Marathon, 38k with like 1700 meters of climbing. We thought that would sit perfectly, like go from a 25k to a 38k and then build into OCC, which is like 50 plus k. Fast runnable course, really would have suited me. Booked all the flights, booked the hotel, Gemma's going, Justin's going, Lewis is going, like all planned out. And then got thrown a bit of a curveball when Angela from Team GB reached out and said Tom Evans, who was one of the people who'd been selected for the trail team for Europeans, has rolled his ankle during the race at Transvulcania, where he took second, and he's going to have to pull out, and we'd like to offer you the spot. So that was last Tuesday, so with about 10 days notice, 13 days notice, something like that, whatever, got the call up for Team GB, and after a very short deliberation decided, of course, I'm going to say yes. So took the spot, got all the kit, and changed the flights, and now Nick and Amelia are coming out with me. Mum and Dad are coming out, and we're literally in the car right now driving to Gatwick Airport to fly out to Annecy tonight. It's Wednesday, racing on Saturday, sharing a room with Tom Roach, who is world champion from last year, racing alongside Luke Grenfell-Shaw, who I think took 8th at CCC last year, Tom Jolie, who I raced with at Snowdonia and then raced with at Keswick last weekend. He's had a load of really good results, raced at UTMB, top 20 finish at UTMB last year. It's my first time obviously running for Team GB, so legit GB senior best, selected for the team. So yeah, like I'm really excited. I'm a little bit nervous, but just having it sort of settle in now, starting to think about what's to come. Had a proper look at the course. It's part of the Maxi race in Annecy, so it's like 58k, 3,500 meters of climbing, roughly, maybe a bit more of both of those. Should be like a 5.5 hour to 6 hour race, 5.5 on a good day. So definitely longer than what we're prepped for and what we wanted to do, but feeling good about it. Just going to go and give it my best. And as I said, it was originally the plan to do this in the build up to OCC, so even though it has been a bit of a curveball and late notice, it does still fit with the plan, and can't say no to running for the country. So just going to go do my best to try and make everyone proud and soak in the experience of being around these world-class athletes. And yeah, worst case I get all the kit. So all set up at the team hotel. Really nice to meet everybody at breakfast this morning. I'm rooming with Tom Roach, but he's not arriving until Friday, so I've got the room to myself, which is cool. And yeah, ate a load of food, drank a load of coffee, took some team photos, had a little bit of a trail team meeting. Everyone's really cool, really friendly, just nice chatting and getting to know them. Just been and seen one of the team physios for a little bit of a massage, just to loosen things up, and now walking to the supermarket to stock up on simple carbohydrates, and then head over to find Nicola and Amelia and chill out for a couple of hours before we head over to the opening ceremony, which I'm not exactly sure what an opening ceremony entails. Apparently you might have to walk around carrying a flag, so maybe that's kind of cool. So I'm actually just sitting here in Nicola and Amelia's apartment in Sevrier, which is just down the road from where the hotel is, just eating a massive bowl of rice and a little bit of chicken with some soy sauce, which is like standard pre-race meal, but I tend to have it 2 days out both nights because it's just a nice simple carb load and like low fiber, ticks all the boxes. Anyway, Matt and Ben just sent me a link to an article that Jamie and Anik have put together, kind of just a little bit about my journey and transformation and like lifestyle change. And it's not something I've talked about on the vlog yet, but in a nutshell, in my mid-20s I was 15 stone, smoking 20 to 30 cigarettes a day, not eating well, not looking after myself, not happy, not a fulfilled person who was motivated to do stuff. I was still surrounded by like loving people and nothing in my life was actually that bad. I just got lazy and did it to myself and sort of slowly slipped into this weird lifestyle, which I didn't even realise I was in for a long time, until I did. And just thinking back on like the shift of mindset to decide to change that and start to go to the gym 4 days a week, eat perfectly, lost 5 stone in a year, ended up quitting smoking one day, just decided, right, that's it, never had another cigarette since. It just like actually made me feel a little bit emotional because I'm sat here in like this Great Britain kit with all these people telling me about how proud they are and like how inspirational it is and stuff like that. And I think it's I don't know, man, it's f***ing surreal. Like there's nothing special about me. I think a lot of people could do exactly that, but they just never dug themselves into enough of a hole to begin with to be able to show it. But with that being said, like looking back at it now, having sort of suppressed all of that stuff and just worked through it and not wanting to make a big deal of it, being embarrassed about it, obviously, like just, yeah, ashamed of it and all that sort of stuff, which is natural because it was just not good. I think now finally it's like far enough ago where it feels like a completely different life, and I've always been willing to talk about it, but it's not something I've been particularly like actively open about if no one asks me because it's embarrassing. But yeah, I'm definitely there now, and I think like that says it all, right? Like I'm going to go out in 2 days' time, I'm going to run over those mountains in the background, represent my country with my family here, with everybody who I care about and know and love and who mean anything to me all over the world, supporting me, sending me messages, telling me how inspired they are and how proud they are. And yeah, it just makes me really happy and really proud. So yeah, this feeling right now, I'm just gonna save this up, and when I get to pretty much the bottom of that climb after the aid station at 42k and I've got a 1,000 meter climb in front of me and my legs are already gone, I think I'll save this up for then, and hopefully it carries me up that mountain and everyone's thoughts and wishes and all that baggage can just be left behind, crack on and do something with it, and like win, lose, draw, whatever happens, as long as I try my hardest, do my best. It's so cliche, but like it's just so true. I don't care. Like in this situation, it's so true. I go into a lot of races wanting to win, wanting to get a result. This one, I just want to represent myself well, represent my country well, and do my family proud, and all the people that help me along the way. I just want you all to smile and be happy for me and feel good because I love you all, and yeah, it means so much. Like it's just another moment in an amazing, crazy, turbulent life, which has had a lot more good than bad. And yeah, I'm just so lucky, so happy, grateful to be here. So I just thought I'd talk about that right now while I was feeling it, because as you can tell, it really does mean something to me.
Hey Amelia, what's happening tomorrow?
We're going to go organizing.
And who else?
Daddy.
And what's Daddy doing tomorrow?
Running.
Running. And where are we?
in Annecy.
Good girl. And is there anything you want to say to Daddy before his big race?
Yeah.
Wow.
Daddy, I love you.
Should we say good luck to Daddy?
Yeah. Good luck, Daddy.
Good luck, Daddy. We'll see you at the end of the race. Morning.
Nous sommes prêts au départ. Attention, le départ des championnats d'Europe de trail dans quelques instants.
Go GB!
Et c'est parti.
Come on, James, go, sweetheart. Well done.
Right, now's the
Keep it up, love.
Cheers. Go GB! Well done, Thomas.
Allez la France!
Allez la France!
Hey, go UK!
Great start, steady away. How you doing? Yeah,
Pancakes.
that was a bit fast, wasn't it, hey? Good, mate.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, bit quick at the front.
Yeah, I was through quick.
Yeah, everybody's through quick.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I've got ages.
Ça serait drôle ça. Un mec.
Let's go.
5 minutes to Tom and about 10 to Luke.
Okay.
Both look a lot rougher than you do.
Oh, my left hamstring is
Oh, right.
F. But,
Okay.
10 minutes ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
I'm just going this pace.
yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of people.
I'll see you 10 minutes before that time.
No problem. Well done, you. Fantastic running. You're a star, James. 7 minutes, Luke. To Luke.
Okay, cool.
And the two girls, but that's fantastic.
Right, it's no worse than it was when I last saw you, so.
Okay, that's good. All right. Wicked. Enjoy that descent, mate. Well, great running.
C'est aussi important. Et apparemment, Thierry Garivier serait passé en tête. Beaucoup d'émotions.
Just arrived back in the UK, actually to much nicer weather than we had over in France, ironically, which we'll get into when we start to talk about the race a little bit. And yeah, I just thought I'd do a quick recap of the race and kind of thoughts and feelings afterwards and touch on what happens next and where we go from here. So yeah, I mean, it's such a amazing experience being part of the team and being over there racing for almost with a bit of a different purpose. Like, I kind of talked about the sense of pride and all the emotions I was feeling before the race and how much I was looking forward to it and how excited I was. That didn't change going into the day. The one thing that I hadn't really talked about before was the fact that I'd had a little bit of hamstring tightness on the Tuesday of race week. And it's normal. Like, normally you'll get little taper niggles, taper tantrums, whatever people call them. Every time I've tapered for a big race, I've had a little bit of a tightness, a bit of an issue. And 99% of the time, when you start racing, it just disappears, and it was kind of in your head. Everything tightens up when you change your running schedule and stuff like that. So I assumed it was that. I'd spoken to Lewis and I'd had a bit of treatment from the team physio, Graham, on the Thursday before the race. Everything was feeling pretty loose, pretty good, but I was aware of it. Like, I could feel a little bit of tightness in the back of my left hamstring. On the race morning, though, I felt amazing. Got up, we got the bus over to the start. It was a really early, like 3:45 alarm, 4:30 bus, and then headed over, had the usual breakfast, felt really good, chatting to the guys on the bus, genuinely felt excited, like not too many nerves really, but also like prepped and ready for it. Picked up my race numbers, went through the call room, like the whole experience was cool, everyone warming up on the track. And yeah, it was just like a nice vibe, and my hamstring felt fine, did a few strides, felt good. Race kicked off, and we had this initial little sort of 10-mile loop with about 1,000 meters of climbing, that the plan was to just go out nice and conservative, take it easy, settle in, and then race the rest of the race after that. Because mentally, after that loop, I had about 40k with 2,000 meters of climbing left to do, and that was pretty much what Mozart was. So we decided to break it down in that way. Nice, easy first loop, and then ease into the race and start to actually try and run people down. At least that was the plan. Came through the first checkpoint where we had the GB team waiting with bottles and gels and whatever. Those guys were incredible. Angela and Anne and Graham and Mark and the rest of the team. Amazing to have their support during the race. So grabbed my gels, grabbed my bottles. Everything felt perfect. I was 8 minutes ahead of my timing and I was moving really easily. So it was perfect. Started jogging off the track and just had like a lightning bolt down my left leg, all the way from my glute, all the way down through my hamstring, to my calf, into the sole of my foot. I thought maybe I'd torn something. Immediately hamstring started to cramp. I was starting to limp, and this was on flat road. I ran like a 4:30-minute kilometer trying to keep moving, but like literally in my head working out how I could DNF, and also just devastated that my first ever DNF, because I've never DNF'd any distance race, would be in a GB vest. I just felt like embarrassed. I felt like I'd taken someone else's spot who could have come and actually like contributed to the team. Just like had a little bit of a moment of downward spiral. But I was really happy with how I handled it mentally off the back of that. I just tried to relax, tried to stay calm, tried to let my leg loosen off, got some fuel in, took the opportunity to slow down, step outside of myself and kind of consider my options. I knew there was a big climb coming up. At this point, I was going past my parents for the first time on the course, so I didn't want to say anything to them. I didn't want to put any negativity out there. So kind of went past them, said that I was feeling fine, and headed up this climb, which I knew was going to be mainly a hike because it was really steep. Got more fuel in, got passed by a load of people, had to stop and stretch a few times, just really trying to stay loose. And at the top of that climb, about half an hour later, I realised the pain wasn't actually getting worse, and it felt better on the ups because I was engaging more quads and glutes. And actually it was the flat where I wasn't able to run because you're trying to recycle your leg round, bring your heel up to your bum and pull more with your posterior chain rather than loading the front of your legs. So yeah, the ups and downs felt okay. The flats, I felt very limited, and I just decided to just keep going. I was very much like running with weird form, trying to protect my left leg. I couldn't really bend it. Just properly compromised. So it went from like a steady 50k race effort type pace down to like basically an easy run and just trying to finish. And as the race progressed, I felt more comfortable trying harder because it hadn't twinged again massively. It was constantly there, constantly painful, but not too bad, and manageable. And then at about 20-25k, I actually passed Tom Jolie, who he'd been having issues with antibiotics all week. He'd had a tooth infection. He'd been vomiting and like had pulled out of the race. So all of a sudden I'm in third place for the team. And that was enough motivation in itself to say like, well, you don't pull out now, like you've got to finish. So I just limped for 5 hours all the way through the rest of the race. And it was like partly mental torture because I had people passing me and I knew that like I wasn't running to my potential, but also I just wanted to not re-injure my leg. It was very muddy, slippy conditions, so I didn't want to twinge it or slip. I wanted to get my fuel in, get the miles in my legs, take in the experience and just enjoy it. And I did manage to do that. Like I genuinely stayed positive throughout, which is quite a new thing for me, and I was really happy with that. And I ended up running 5 hours 55 for the whole race. The goal time would have been more like 5:30. So 25 minutes is a long time, but also over 6 hours, it's not that crazy. So, you know, in the end, I was really happy with how it went. I was happy with how I managed it, and I was happy that I didn't further injure my leg. And I was just like glad to contribute to the team, even if it was a 41st place, which obviously doesn't do much to help the team score. Thomas Roach came fourth and Luke ended up coming somewhere about 30th, and the girls all did really well as well. And like over the whole weekend amongst the whole team, we had a lot more success in the up and down. I think we brought home 12 medals amongst like individuals and teams, and I say we because I didn't, but I'll claim it because I've got this on my chest. So yeah, really amazing to be part of that experience. And like all the guys were out supporting on the course. The support on the course was amazing. The course was amazing. So yeah, it was great having my parents there, having Nicola and Amelia there. The whole thing just amazing experience, and has motivated me massively to try and make another GB team in the future. So with one eye on kind of world selection policy when that comes out for next year, it's going to be a difficult task to make that sort of team, but yeah, massively motivated to do so. I just loved running as part of the team and just loved the whole experience. And a huge shout out and thank you to all the guys on the team, all the volunteers, all the other athletes for just making it an awesome experience. So yeah, travelled back. Legs not too bad because I couldn't have run that, like I couldn't actually run that hard, so the DOMS isn't too bad. Saw physio yesterday, got a bit more treatment and just went for a bit of a jog this morning, actually not feeling too bad. So fingers crossed over the next 7 days or so, a bit of easy running, rehab and rest, we can loosen this off. Turns out it's a bit of a sciatic nerve issue with some tightness in my glutes and lower back, so shouldn't be any hamstring damage. And then in a couple of weeks we're back out to Chamonix for a bit of a training camp and build into OCC. So I think the next episode is going to be my experience out in Chamonix, over in Morzine, doing a load of training with Lewis and Gemma. Justin, Ben's coming out as well, and then we're doing a 25k race in Verbier at one of the UTMB events, the St Bernard. So pretty exciting times. Yeah, like I said, amazing experience, emotional roller coaster, and just left me hungry to come back and do better next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed following along the journey, and I'll see you on the next one.